Yes, and with me right now from Charleston is journalist Hunter Boone. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining me.
Good evening.
So, Hunter, try to explain to me, we know everything and we know all about symbols here in Israel, how symbols can affect people and how symbols can make you feel part or not part of a society. How do people really feel about that in the United States, where everybody should be equal?
It's very interesting because I grew up here in South Carolina, and I've been working this week with LA Times, CNN, Al Jazeera Network, and they just still hold the South very much with the stereotype that we are behind and it's backwards here. And living here in Charleston, it's very interesting because on the peninsula in downtown, we are very progressive and we are not a supporter of that flag. But outside of the surrounding area of the Lowcountry, you still find supporters, and they are finding it. They're defending it with heritage, and they want to say it's part of history. But honestly, in my opinion, that's ridiculous. There's no way that the state of South Carolina was seceded during the Civil War if it wasn't for slavery. There's no way you could find any kind of fact that it was for tariffs or any other kind of related issue. It's something that symbolizes hate, and even our mayor Joe Riley, he made an official statement yesterday that it is hate. It's just something that we can't identify with anymore, and we just need it removed from our capital.
You know, Hunter, I'm trying to understand because when people are asking me, for example, how do you feel about the flag towards the flag of Israel, and there is the Magen David on the flag, and the Star of David on the flag, and for the Arab population here in Israel, they cannot identify with the flag, but for the Jewish part they can. So my answer, for example, is I don't need a symbol to identify or to feel that I'm part of a place. I don't need to see a flag or not see a flag in order for me to feel equal or to fight for my equal rights. So, okay, so it's a flag. So what's the big deal?
I think what the big deal is that it's, South Carolina, it's always been very low in education. And I feel like people are just uneducated and they don't understand where it's coming from, because that flag was flown over the Capitol in 1962 because they were trying to prove another point, but it was really because of the Civil Rights Movement. I mean, they were trying to push it back, and it's just something that people need to be educated on where it's coming from. It's a rebel flag. It's something that shouldn't be there. It should be removed, and if you want to keep the flag, that is your right. We are Americans. Our freedom of speech, keep it in your home. Yes. But it doesn't need to be somewhere in a public space. I mean, the Capitol isn't somewhere where I feel welcomed. I mean, I remember growing up going to journalism conferences in high school, going up to Columbia and still seeing it, and I was shocked because I live in Charleston. I don't really travel that far up to Columbia when I was that of age and going to high school, and yes, when I would see it, I remember laughing about it. I was like, that is so funny. Like, why is that there? And people were like, well, we don't really know. I mean, I was younger, and now I'm now 25. I'm now a working freelance journalist, yes, and it's very interesting. This entire past 4 days, it's been talking to both sides, yes, and
I think Hunter, you put a spot on one specific word, and I will take it. It's education. It's the key. Mm-hmm. Yep, Hunter Boone, I'm sorry I don't have enough time with you. Thank you very, very much for this. Thank you.